Okay, so have you ever pulled out like a casserole or something and it's like completely bubbled over and you're just like, oh no, how am I going to clean this up?
I've been there. It's the worst.
Yeah, and it's like those messes that make you wonder, like, is there a better way?
Right. Like some secret weapon to keep your oven sparkling clean.
Exactly, and that's actually what we're diving into today, oven liners.
Those unsung heroes of the kitchen.
Right, they're like this simple solution you put in your oven and suddenly spills aren't as scary.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They can really save you from a lot of scrubbing.
So for this deep dive, let's talk about what they are, how to use them safely, all the important stuff.
Let's do it. I'm ready to break down everything oven liners.
Okay, perfect.
Right. But here's the thing. When used correctly, oven liners are totally safe.
Okay, so it's all about using them the right way.
Exactly. Exactly. You don't want to put the liner directly on top of those. That's when things can get risky.
Okay, so no liner on the oven floor. So we've covered the where, now let's talk about the what. What are these magical sheets actually made of?
Okay, so most oven liners you'll find are made from either silicone or Teflon-coated fiberglass. They have to be able to withstand those high oven temperatures.
Makes sense. So what are the differences between the two?
Well, silicone liners, they're known for being super flexible.
Oh, okay. I use those baking mats all the time, and they're pretty easy to clean.
Right. And that's another plus for silicone liners. They're generally a breeze to clean.
Okay, so silicone seems like a good option,
They won't move around as much.
which can be good or bad, I guess, depending on what you're looking for.
Right. It's all about personal preference.
Yeah.
But yeah, Teflon liners, they definitely have their pros and cons.
Okay.
And because of that, they tend to last a lot longer than Teflon-coated liners.
Okay, so potentially less waste in the long run with silicone.
Exactly. And that brings us to another important consideration. The environmental impact.
Right, because at the end of the day, we want to make choices that are good for our kitchens and the planet.
Like we were saying, they're designed to last a long time, which means less waste overall.
Okay, so that's a big plus for silicone in terms of sustainability.
Exactly. Now with Teflon-coated liners, it's a bit more complicated. They're typically not as durable as silicone, so they might need to be replaced more often.
Which means potentially more waste.
Exactly. Yeah. And then there's the whole debate about Teflon itself.
Right. Okay, so it seems like silicone might have the edge in terms of sustainability. But what about practicality? I mean, let's be real. How easy are these things to clean?
Oh, that's the best part. Both silicone and Teflon liners are generally a breeze to clean, especially compared to scrubbing a messy oven floor.
Music to my ears.
Right, for everyday spills like a little cheese or sauce.
But before we move on to specific brands and recommendations, I did want to circle back to something you mentioned earlier about Teflon. You said it's a bit more complicated. Can you elaborate on that?
Sure. So Teflon itself, it's a brand name for a type of nonstick coating called PTFE, polytetrafluoro.
Like what kind of concerns?
So some studies have linked PTFE to certain health problems when it's heated to high temperatures.
Okay, so there's a potential risk there when you're using it in an oven.
Right.
So how do we navigate these concerns when it comes to choosing an oven liner?
Well, knowledge is power, right?
Always.
So I think the first step is to be aware of these concerns and then do your research.
Okay, so read labels, look for certifications, that kind of thing. I love that knowledge is power. So with that in mind, let's shift gears a bit and talk about some specific brands and recommendations.
Sounds good. I'm ready to dive into the world of oven liner brands.
All right, so let's talk brands. When we were talking about silicone liners earlier, I remember you mentioning Silchef.
Oh yeah, Silchef. Yeah, and for good reason.
Mm-hmm.
They use high-quality food-grade silicone, and their liners are known for being really durable.
So they can handle those high oven temperatures without any issues, the health and environmental impacts.
Exactly. So it's not as simple as just recommending a brand. It's more about being a conscious consumer and doing your research.
Sometimes you have to be your own advocate and really dig deep to find those trustworthy brands.
Exactly. Knowledge is power, right?
Absolutely. So to wrap things up, any final words of wisdom for our listeners who are now ready to conquer the world of oven liners?
I would say at the end of the day, the best oven liner for you is the one that meets your specific needs and aligns with your value.
Well said. Well, on that note, we'll leave you to ponder the wonderful world of oven liners. Hopefully this deep dive has given you the knowledge and inspiration to choose wisely. Happy baking, everyone.